All right, we're back with a new face. Yes, my sister Leanne.
Hello.
Hey, well, introduce yourself. Why are you here?
Well, I'm here because I've started working with you,
Right.
which has been great.
Yes.
And so I'm Kirk's youngest sister, and
Leanne.
yes, Leanne, and we've been working together for just over 2 months. And so I'm getting into the groove of things, learning as much as I can from him. Of course, he's very busy, so within the pockets of time where he has time. Yeah.
Yeah, so what's it been like so far? How's the progression or the learning curve?
So the learning curve in real estate is steep.
Right.
So, I mean, I think I've had a benefit of growing up in a real estate family. I actually, ironically, did my real estate license when I was 19 in Red Deer, and then I decided to go to university. So I didn't actually practice as a real estate agent, but mom and dad were real estate agents, and then yourself, and then Melanie recently. I feel like every dinner table, dad was getting up to take a phone call, come back, chat about what's going on. So I feel like I've learned along the way throughout my adult life, but it's another situation.
So what you're doing on kind of on the back end stuff, how is it different than what you like? Is it what you thought it would be like, or is it different than what you thought it would be like as far as what goes on in a day?
There's a lot of paperwork, like more than I expected. And I'm in awe and fascinated of all the real estate agents and the fact that they all have to do this. And I look at like all the listing paperwork that's required, the meetings that you have, and then there's the initial paperwork, and then the
But so far,
paperwork.
you've only seen the listing side of things.
Right.
I haven't sent you one buyer transaction yet.
I know. And so, I feel like, we are focusing on the listing side to make sure that I can perfect it. But the fact that there is so much to it, I'm impressed actually by all the real estate agents that everyone is doing this.
Yes. Well, not everyone is doing it, but
right.
they should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, from that perspective, we're focusing on the listing side and making sure that I understand that, and you're showing me different aspects so that I can do each of them myself. So you can simply ask me to do something.
So if someone was thinking about, I'd like to be a real estate executive assistant, what would you tell them? Would you say like run for the hills, or hell no, or?
No, I would say that's great. Get ready.
Great.
You're going to learn a lot and be prepared, because whatever you're expecting it to be, it'll be different even if you know the real estate industry, and it's more than you can imagine what it is. Just if you're thinking there's like, a listing agreement. Well, guess what? That listing agreement has 10 other documents that goes with it. So it makes sense though, because these are serious legal transactions. It's the biggest purchase that anyone's making in their life. And so, when I look at it, it does make sense that there's all of these other documents that go with it.
What's been the biggest challenge so far for you?
I think, my background's in HR, and so we talk about there's knowing what we don't know, and then there's not knowing what we don't know. And that's the scary part of like, okay, am I missing a step? Is there something that goes in here that I'm not aware of yet? And then, that comes with training. So it's trying my best to support you, do as much as I can, do what I know correctly, and then trying to find those pockets of time with you to see like, have I done everything? Is there something I'm missing? Do I need to learn another step? Like, have I actually completed it? And so I think it's the balance of wanting to know and then having the time to make sure that I do know and having time together.
My problem is that the time that I would have, which would be early in the day, it also doesn't work. And then later in the day, I don't really feel like doing any training. So like after dinner and that, so that's tough. Yeah. But,
but I think like the things that you have taken the time to show me, I'm getting the hang of it, and repeating the process helps.
Yeah. Well, I think definitely the level of service that we're providing to our sellers has increased since you've come on board. That's for sure. But at the same time, I'm doing more. So it's like, it hasn't really freed up my time and schedule, but
right.
Yeah.
There are the creative, like along with the actual, like, you know, the listing side, I really enjoy the creative elements that I'm doing. So like the seller's guide and doing, you know, contributing to some posts for social media.
Big.
I do like the contrast of the more heavy administrative detailed work with the creative side. And so I like that too.
Yeah, because like realtors will wear so many different hats, and there's so many different facets to the business that you can be good at one and not at others, and that can really pull your whole business down, right? So and if people don't realize that, like from the outside looking at what a realtor does, it's very either misunderstood, or it's just the reality versus the perception is way out of line. And people, I know that especially with new agents and training new agents and trying to let them know what they should focus on and where the business comes from and how you get paid versus the perception of what realtors do on a daily basis, is just, there's a huge disconnect there, because a lot of the stuff that you see that realtors are doing are not the things that they get paid for doing, right? So like the behind the scenes, that obviously meeting with clients, calling clients, doing up market analysis, like showing property, those things are out, you know, working and negotiating contracts, writing contracts. If you never get an opportunity to actually write a contract, you're never going to get paid. So you can be very busy and be on social media and doing all this stuff and never lead to a paycheck. So
right, it's a sad reality when you realize it's not like selling sunset, like fun dresses and going to parties and events and negotiating a bit on the phone and then celebrating, ringing the bell. You know, and so there is.
I mean, that can be part of it, but it's not all of it.
Yeah,
that's
it's very
for
small
sure,
part.
a very small percentage of the reality.
Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that's like the highlight reel, is
Yes.
what they're showing, and then there is the behind the scenes of everything they can
yeah,
happen.
and for us as realtors, there's just so many on the legal side of things and the contract side of things. There's so many things to know, and the differences between properties. Like we were did a training this morning on talking about building stratas, and which is something that doesn't exist in all areas, and there's such a huge misunderstanding with that. And so trying to get agents to understand, wrap their head around what these building stratas are. People in our area own building stratas. They actually don't know that they own building stratas and acreages. Anyways, this crazy amount of like sort of like legal responsibility and some misinformation. So I think it's important, obviously, as a consumer, if you're choosing to work with somebody, that they know these things. Like you know, sometimes you're hiring somebody and you think that they know, but they really don't. So experience goes a long way, or some, you know, being able to find out, gather information, present it properly. Yeah.
And so on the flip side, how do you think it's going, working together?
Well, it's great because I know that I need help. My challenge is always trying to free up time, or not necessarily free up time, but being able to spend my time on less on the admin tasks and more so on the income generation side, which we have done. They've taken stuff off my plate, but at the same time, my plate has been filled up, I feel like, with other stuff. So it's definitely a work in progress for me. And I'm used to just not doing everything on my own, but just so looking after things. I still have a hard time letting go of certain tasks because I just feel like, I can do it in 30 seconds, I'll just do it, but those 30 seconds or 5 minutes really add up throughout the day. So yes, anyways, it's a little chaotic.
Right, but I think it
going
will get better with time as well. We'll get into the groove of things. The more I know and the more that I learn, I can take more off your plate.
Work through it. Yeah. And yes. Well, they say, if you want something done, ask a busy person.
Right.
They'll find a way.
Yeah.
The busy people, they figure out a way. But I don't like saying that I'm busy. I stopped doing that because there's this whole being effective versus being busy, and so I'm always trying to be effective. I'm trying to get tasks done because you can just be there's endless things to.
Right. The time will just go by, and you can just say you're busy.
Yeah, but definitely having a schedule, that helps me. So putting everything in my calendar, that helps work through things. But I think not communicating, that's one of the challenges that we have, is communicating what I'm doing to what you're doing when I'm out and about all day, and having someone behind the scenes being able to look after things while I'm still looking after. And there's a crossover there that creates some other challenge, which is different than a lot of other businesses, where if you're sitting in an office environment, information is shared, it's easy. This business is not. it's not as easy to do that, and then different platforms. And then we switched to that. I tried that system, dial pad, switched my phone over, thinking that, so dial pad was going to be centralized, all the phone calls would go through, it would record, it would give, summaries and voicemails and text messages, and so we could all be on the same page with what is going by. But then to find out after switching that the iMessages, so like the blue messages through iPhone, don't go. Only the green ones go. So then, well, that wasn't going to work because 3/4 of the text messages that I get are through iMessage, and they weren't going into dial pad, and so I was still having to handle everything. So anyways, so then I lost, and then I couldn't log into the account, right? So for 5 days, my phone number that's on all my signs and that everybody has I wasn't able to receive text messages or make outbound calls from. And so that caused a little bit of, say, some stress. And
right, a bit of a test. And
it was ridiculous. Yeah, really could have done without that last week.
Oh, for sure. But we're on the other side now. You got your phone number back. You're in.
Yeah, back to normal. So I'm dealing with everything again. Yeah, as normal. But anyways.
But we'll look at other possible solutions.
Yeah, there's got to be a solution. There's got to be something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, doing 75 hard. Today's day 9, which is good. I feel good. I'm also doing, why am I doing it? Why would you do that to yourself in the middle of, because I haven't reached all of my goals for this year. And what I found, when I'm in doing, 75 hard is a mental toughness program, and it is really, I don't know how to explain it. You have to fit these daily tasks in, and they're on top of what you're already doing. However, when I'm doing it, I am much more efficient. I get way more done. And even though it's like fills my day right up, I find that, so the reason that I'm doing it, I want to achieve some goals, and I knew that I probably wouldn't achieve them unless I was in a program like this mental toughness program. And so I want to finish this year very strong, and I need the proper mindset, which involves the exercise, drinking water, the reading of the books, and what else is on that? Holy shit.
The food, the diet.
Oh yeah, following a diet. Yeah, sticking to it. No alcohol.
Right.
Yeah, no cheat meals. And so the first week is tough because was tired from doing actually the 2 workouts a day. Getting that extra workout in late makes the day long. But I know in the long run, it's definitely going to pay off. So,
do you feel you're at your best when you're doing it?
I feel like I'm definitely operating at a higher level when I'm in the program than not. There's no question, absolutely no question. Plus, the other thing that makes a big difference is, especially doing, so my second workout of the day, which is, I walk, so 45 minutes. But while I'm on my walk, I'm listening to podcasts. And I'm typically listening to either MF CEO or it's not motivational, but business and productivity minded podcasts. And so those keep me on track. That's just hearing the messaging that's coming through about other high achieving, high producing people that just reminds me that what I'm doing is okay and what other people are actually capable of. And just hearing other stories is motivating to keep me going. So when I'm not in the program, I'm not getting that daily feed. I'm also reading, so I read 10 pages a day of a self-improvement or some kind of knowledge learning book. And that also helps keep my mind on track and then just not eating any junk. It's surprising to me how much eating low quality food impacts energy and sort of cognitive abilities, as opposed to eating very clean and on purpose and with targets, protein and clean. Just being able to handle a lot of stress and pressure and deal with a lot of things on a daily basis. It's a huge difference. No comparison to normal, just eating normal to now. I don't know. Do you notice a difference in me when I'm on program?
Yeah, I think you have more energy, more clarity. I think you're more excited and enthusiastic about things. And your schedule is tick, tick, tick. Your schedule is always quite structured, but you've added even more things, but you're able to do it all. Like you said, you want something done, you ask a busy person, someone who already has a full schedule, and you make it work.
Yes.
And so I'm considering joining the 75 Hard program.
Yes. What's holding you back?
Well, I have a birthday coming up, and I like birthday
Well, but then after birthday is going to be what? Thanksgiving? Or no, that's the same time.
Right.
Well, then there's Christmas. Well, but then there's might be Grey Cup, then Super Bowl.
Well, I do like sports, but I could probably
But there's all these
sacrifice
reasons.
them.
Somebody else is going to have a birthday and probably invite you.
No, that's true. And so, I mean, you did say I could start and take a minor pause for immediate, like a little
Well, you'd have
slice.
to start over.
Yeah, but I could have a small slice and then start over the next day.
Yeah.
So, that could happen because I see the benefits of it, and
It's not for everybody. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It is not easy. That's why it's called 75 Hard and not 75 Easy or 75 Cupcake.
Right. I wish it was called 75 Cupcake. But yeah, I mean, I have 3 days a week with 2 workouts a day. I do the stairs in the morning with Mom and Melanie, and then the walk run in the evening on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it would be more. The other 4 days, I'd have 2 workouts a day as well. And then I think the big thing would be changing the eating. So that would be huge.
That's the hardest point for me, is the eating, the diet. And it's when I'm on the program, I find it easier to just stick to it because I know that there's a goal and this is what I've decided to do. When I'm not on the program, there's no reason. It's so easy to fall back on just regular, like if there's junk in the pantry, I'll find it and I'll eat it, and then I'll feel like I feel like crap after, I know it's going to happen and yet still do it, right? So it just blows my mind. I don't understand how the mind can know that something is not best for you and still do it. Like, it makes no sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the short-term, tastiness of it. Yeah. And then, then there's what actually, happens.
Well, and it is true that we are, as individuals, against these large corporations that have these biochemists that have engineered the flavors to really make them irresistible or addictive and so it's not. I think if we were in an environment where foods weren't engineered, it would probably be a lot easier to just eat the high quality ones because, anyways, I don't know.
It would be more of what's around us. And
you look at how, anyways, I just saw this video on how Oreo cookies were made and what is actually in them. And it's insane how they're engineered and they're made so inexpensively with just like leftover junk from other stuff. And they're not good for you at all. Mm-hmm. So, all right, well, this is what I've been thinking about this. So my Walper wisdom for today is that people are watching. And so we don't always realize it. We get so tied up into ourselves, but they are. And people notice stuff. And so I have noticed, especially since, and I've even being on 75 Hard, people make comments. They're like, oh, what's going on? What are you doing? You seem like you're like, so people notice stuff. And I'm out walking. People know, like people are like, oh, what are you doing? I've noticed you out here before. And I'm like, oh, you notice, right? Or, so I think that when you're doing things and you're productive, know that people are watching. They do notice. You don't think that they do, but they do notice. And it shows up in a lot of other areas of our lives. So when we're operating at a high level, people notice. When we're operating at a low level, nobody notices. Mm-hmm. But it's very rare, is what I'm learning, to be operating at a high level of productivity as well as being driven and task-oriented. And it definitely shows up. And so people notice. So people are watching. Yeah. And if they're not watching, maybe there's a reason. So you want to put yourself in a position where people pay attention and they're watching and they want to know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's inspiring. People even ask me about you. Oh, I saw Kirk the other day at the grocery store. Gee, he's looking young or fit. Or so people are, right. They notice, or, I see him out and about. He's everywhere, He's at appointments. I see him walking. So people do notice. And then they're curious. what is it that you're up to, or so.
Yeah. What is he doing? Why is he
Right.
crazy? Is he losing
Yeah.
his shit?
Right, but you have big goals in all areas of your life, and so what's it like to be running at that optimal level within real estate and your health?
Well, what I know is that it doesn't happen on its own, and that's what I've learned, and especially being plugged into some high achievers, is that they make things happen. So I've had that realization, instead of waiting for it to come to me, or taking that it shouldn't be this hard, or that the most successful people, it just comes to them. They don't. The reality is, the most successful people, they go out and they get it, and they do it anyways. And so that has been very clear to me in terms of higher productivity or achieving goals, or like you can't get fit without going to the gym, and like or lifting weights. Like it just doesn't. There's no magic pill, and they'll sell you a story that you can pay for that doesn't work, but there is no shortcut to that, to success. There's no shortcut to success. This is what I've learned.
The hard work,
And
nothing
hard.
beats the hard work. You have to do the work.
Yeah.
In all areas.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Great.
No doubt about it.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll be back more. I think that I want to change the format of this, is just to be talking about what we're dealing with on a daily basis, and that, rather than talking about results, but like the struggles and what we're doing to combat those struggles. So we'll talk more about that. But it's a hard progression, and like I want to get better on camera, so this has been helpful. I've been doing daily videos, just I guess stories on Instagram, just recording. So that's getting a little bit easier. But I want to get better at telling stories and being able to talk clearly. Definitely over the years, taking Toastmasters was a big benefit to learning how to speak and present clearly without all the crutch words. I know they're still there sometimes, but this is all something that can be learned, and anybody can do it. That's what I'll say for sure. You just have to have the desire and put the proper pieces in place.
And then practice.
Just do it over and over. Yeah, be willing to suck at the start, because you have to, and you have to have some people that make comments on your videos and tell you you're an idiot. And
right, but like you learned in Nashville, you have to be willing to be a disaster to be a master.
Yeah, one doesn't come without the other, for sure. Yeah, mastering anything, you start at the bottom and you work your way up. Nobody starts at the top. They just don't.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we haven't heard about Nashville. How was it?
Oh, Nashville's awesome. If you ever have the chance to go, you have to go. Great city. It's clean. Everything is very close together. It's all concentrated in one sort of downtown area. The live music is phenomenal. The quality of the performers, the entertainment value is through the roof, and you don't have to pay to go into any of these places. So it's just unlimited entertainment and fun. The people were friendly. That was one of the things I noticed when we were in any of the bars or restaurants or any of the event centers we were at, is that the people that were working there, you could tell they were happy and they were service oriented, and they made sure that as a customer you had a great experience. And I think that that's something we've lost in a lot of areas I go to in Canada. Like there's this entitlement towards, I should get paid a tip regardless of the level of service that I provide. And there, it just felt like the people were there to earn your, and they just give the highest level of service possible so that your experience was as good as it could be. And then when you don't mind giving them a good tip, it drives me insane here when there's like a tipping option and they haven't done anything, and anyways. So that there, I noticed that there's a customer service like through the roof, really nice, clean city, and yeah, highly recommend.
And how was the conference part?
Conference is awesome. The Royal LePage National Sales Conference, when you're there, you're surrounded by other people that have made the choice to be there. They've paid the price to go and taken the time. They're there for a reason. So you're surrounded by a group of people that are obviously like-minded. So I learn a lot talking with the other agents. That's probably the biggest takeaway and the biggest value for me is just being able to hang out with other agents, ask them what they're doing, what's working, get some tips, and then really get fired up. And so that was huge. And it's a lot of fun. It's a really fun crowd. There's obviously an educational component to it, but then there's the networking and just hanging out and having a bit of a break. So it's good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Next year we're going to Niagara Falls for the sales conference, so that'll be something a little bit different.
Nice.
We're looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, what do you got planned for the next week or anything on the horizon?
Oh, wow. For me, it's work during the day and walk, run, dancing in the evenings, and then weekends are full of watching the nephews play hockey and baseball, and then maybe starting 75 hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. You can do it. You just have to start. And you can start and then fail, but you can start over.
Yeah, exactly. And having someone to do it with. I think that's another thing is when you have big goals, having someone who's doing it with you is always beneficial.
Yeah, but you have to do it for yourself because if you're only doing it, like if you need, you have to learn how to do it independently, but which is sometimes, it's hard, especially the food, the eating, when there's good food in the house, it makes it harder. But anyways, mental toughness.
Yeah.
Okay, right on.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining, and
have a great day.
That's it for today.
Yeah.
All right,
Be
thanks
kind.
for watching.